President Reagan had this down pat in his second State of the Union address, and I don't understand why we're still fighting this. But the situation with pork in bills and overspending of the government has been going on for a very long time. Listen to this little snippet of Reagan's speech.
Deficits. We have had a federal balanced budget only 8 times in the last 57 years. For the first time in 14 years, the federal government spent less in real terms last year than the year before. We took $73 billion off last year's deficit compared to the year before. The deficit itself has moved from 6.3% of the gross national product to only 3.4%. And perhaps the most important sign of progress has been the change in our view of deficits. You know, a few of us can remember when, not too many years ago, those who created the deficits said they would make us prosperous and not to worry about the debt because we owe it to ourselves. Well, at last, there is agreement that we can't spend ourselves rich. Our recent budget agreement, designed to reduce federal deficits by $76 billion over the next 2 years, builds on this consensus. But this agreement must be adhered to without slipping into the errors of the past. More broken promises and more unchecked spending. As I indicated in my first State of the Union, what ails us can be simply put. The federal government is too big and it spends too much money. I can assure you the bipartisan leadership of Congress of my help in fighting off any attempt to bust our budget agreement. And this includes the swift and certain use of the veto power. Now, it's also time for some plain talk about the most immediate obstacle to controlling federal deficits. The simple but frustrating problem of making expenses match revenues, something American families do and the federal government can't, has caused crisis after crisis in this city. Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, I will say to you tonight what I've said before and will continue to say. The budget process has broken down. It needs a drastic overhaul. With each ensuing year, the spectacle before the American people is the same as it was this Christmas. Budget deadlines delayed or missed completely. Monstrous, continuing resolutions that pack hundreds of billions of dollars worth of spending into one bill, and a federal government on the brink of default. I know I'm echoing what you here in the Congress have said because you suffered so directly. But let's recall that in 7 years of 91 appropriations, bills scheduled to arrive on my desk by a certain date, only 10 made it on time. Last year, of the 13 appropriations bills due by October 1st, none of them made it. Instead, we had 4 continuing resolutions lasting 41 days, then 36 days, 2 days, and 3 days, respectively. And then along came these behemoths. This is the conference report 1,053 pages, report weighing 14 pounds. And then this, a reconciliation bill, 6 months late. That was 1,186 pages long, weighing 15 pounds. And the long-term continuing resolution, this one was 2 months late, and it's 1,057 pages long, weighing 14 pounds. Now, that was a total of 43 pounds of paper and ink. You had 3 hours, yes, 3 hours to consider each. And it took 300 people, my Office of Management and Budget, just to read the bill so the government wouldn't shut down. Congress shouldn't send another one of these. No, and if you do, I will not sign it. Let's change all this. Instead of a presidential budget that gets discarded, and a congressional budget resolution that is not enforced, why not a simple partnership, a joint agreement that sets out the spending priorities within the available revenues? And let's remember, our deadline is October 1st, not Christmas. Let's get the people's work done in time to avoid a foot race with Santa Claus. And yes, this year, to coin a phrase, a new beginning. 13 individual bills on time and fully reviewed by Congress. I'm also certain you join me in saying, let's help ensure our future of prosperity by giving the president a tool that, though I will not refuse to use it, is one I know future presidents of either party must have. Give the president the same authority that 43 governors use in their states, the right to reach into massive appropriation bills, pare away the waste, and enforce budget discipline. Let's approve the line item veto. And let's take a partial step in this direction. Most of you in this chamber didn't know what was in this catch-all bill and report. Over the past few weeks, we've all learned what was tucked away behind a little comma here and there. For example, there's millions for items such as cranberry research, blueberry research, the study of crawfish, and the commercialization of wildflowers. And that's not to mention the 5 or so million that is so that people from developing nations could come here to watch Congress at work. I won't even touch that. So tonight I offer you this challenge. In 30 days, I will send back to you those items as rescissions, which if I had the authority to line them out, I would do so.
And this is why Ronald Reagan was one of our best presidents ever. And yet, We are still dealing with these gigantic, monstrous budget bills. The last one, which included the COVID, didn't come until December and was rolled out on a cart. Could not be carried by hand, could not be read, and had to be signed basically unread. With enough pork in it to serve bacon breakfast to each and every congressman and senator. We need to start doing line by line, smaller bills, not these monstrous things that no one can read. And Reagan saw it all the way back in the 80s. Why are we still doing it this way? Seriously. Just trying to sneak in your little pet projects, congressmen, senators, and other various politicians. Some of the things we snuck in to the COVID relief bill were just ridiculous. Anyway, I saw this come across on my autoplay, and I just was like, you know what, this is one of the most appropriate things I've seen when it comes down to this topic, and I had to record it and make another video of it, so that I could just make a little bit of commentary on what we have done and what we haven't accomplished since Ronald Reagan was in office. And we've only made it worse. We've only allowed it to be worse. He goes on and speaks about education and budgets and so on. And if you have a chance, you should watch this. I actually put it in the community section of my page or my channel, which I hope everyone goes and looks at, because when I post a video or watch a video that I find to be very educational or appropriate, I always post it to the community, and I hope everyone on this channel that's subscribed goes to the community and actually watches these things. I have no idea if anybody is seeing these posts, but because of all the censorship and so on that has come out in the last couple years, I figure if it's on somebody's channel, I'll leave it there on their channel and put it in the community. So please go check the community part of my channel on a regular basis and see what I've posted and what I've shared. Alright, and I haven't made a video in a little while, but here we go with one that's very appropriate. And Ronald Reagan was an amazing man. And I'll tell you a little story. When he got shot, I was a child. I was 10 years old, maybe. And I went to the store. It was around Easter time, and I went and got him black jelly beans because he loved black jelly beans. And I bought him a couple of bags of black jelly beans and shipped them to the White House and got a nice letter back, and I was in my local newspaper saying that I had sent him a present. It was kind of cute. I wish I still had the clipping. I had it until several years back when I wound up losing a bunch of stuff in a move. But anyway, well, that's all. Hope everyone's doing well, and I haven't been on posting anything on the channel in a few days. I was taking a little sabbatical. I just needed to step away from things for a little while. The stress of watching this whole Biden fiasco was starting to get to me, and it just, I had to take a breather. But I'm back. I don't know how back I'm going to be, but I just saw this and I had to post a video of it. So y'all have a good one, and don't give up. Don't give up the fight. Really, seriously. Look at your state and local levels and see what you can do there. States like Texas and Florida are doing a fantastic job of this. They're really stepping up to the plate. and trying to protect the whole country with their policies. Anyway, that's it. Y'all have a good one. Please subscribe, share, and go check out the community section of my channel, because that's where I put everything that I don't feel like downloading and reposting to my channel. If I come across it and it's really worth watching, it's in the community section. Alright, have a good one.